The doors of that Jacksonville courtroom slammed shut, and let me tell you, what happened inside could very well spell the end of Meghan Markle's carefully polished fairy tale. Yes, you heard that right. Samantha Markle, Meghan's own sister, has just gone nuclear, and the fallout is already rattling through royal halls, Hollywood circles, and every gossip forum on the internet. This wasn't just some boring court appearance. Oh no, this was a strike, a calculated ambush designed to torch everything Meghan has built since escaping the palace. Imagine it. 3 sharp-eyed appellate judges sitting up high and Samantha's lawyer standing tall, ripping apart Meghan's brand like it was a fragile house of cards ready to collapse.
Meghan was here now. What would you say to her?
And I said, what's wrong? How can I fix this? How can I fix this?
We're not talking little sisterly digs here. We're talking accusations so vicious, so detailed, so bone-chilling that they could reduce Meghan's global brand to ashes. Samantha's claim that Meghan orchestrated a deliberate destruction campaign against her. A ruthless, methodical, cold-blooded assault using the world stage, her celebrity halo, and that never-ending I'm the victim narrative to paint Samantha as a liar, a racist, and a troll. And the aftermath? Death threats, online hate mobs. Samantha's life turned completely upside down. This isn't family drama anymore. This is war.
I grew up as an only child, which everyone who grew up around me knows. I would have loved to have had siblings, so I'm so excited to be pregnant so that Archie has someone.
And let's talk about timing because, wow, could it get any worse for Meghan? She thought she'd buried the family mess, didn't she? She thought she was rebuilding her American dream. New Hollywood connections, new ventures, that shiny Sussex lifestyle brand. But just when she needed good press the most, in stormed Samantha, dragging everything back under the brightest spotlight. And make no mistake, Meghan's brand, already bruised from those failed Spotify and Netflix deals, is dangling by a thread. Samantha's lawsuit is the knife aimed right at it.
Silence everybody and just produce a DNA sample.
And here's the kicker. Samantha's team didn't come with half-baked gossip. They came armed for battle. They brought receipts, they brought timelines, they dissected Meghan's Oprah tell-all and that glossy Netflix series, calling them nothing short of weapons of mass reputation destruction. Every tier, strategic, every word, calculated, every claim, crafted to paint Meghan as the poor, misunderstood victim, while Samantha was thrown to the wolves as the villain. Her lawyer, Peter Tickton, went for the jugular. He told the judges that Meghan's interviews weren't just emotional therapy sessions, they were a manual on how to destroy someone's life while staying just one step away from legal handcuffs.
If you had those things, it would be very easy just to put them out there and say, this is what happened. You know, this is what it is.
Can you imagine? Meghan's carefully staged confessions being branded as nothing more than a blueprint for character assassination. The courtroom atmosphere? Electric. Tense. Everyone hanging on every word. Because what Samantha was unleashing wasn't just about her, it was about whether Meghan's entire public image is a lie.
So all of the pictures, my point is, out there were inconsistent with the idea of a real pregnancy.
Inside that Jacksonville courtroom, Peter Tickton didn't blink. He thundered that Meghan's goal was clear, not to distance herself, not to manage drama, but to destroy Samantha. His words hit like a freight train. According to him, Meghan didn't just hurt her sister's feelings. She launched a cumulative, devastating attack that ruined Samantha's reputation, her safety, and her very standing in society. He broke it down piece by piece. Meghan claiming she was essentially an only child wasn't some innocent exaggeration. It was, he argued, a deliberate erasure of Samantha's existence. And you can see the genius, can't you? If Meghan convinces the world that her sister is practically a stranger, then everything Samantha says later becomes easy to dismiss. Just some random woman desperate for attention. The cruelty of that strategy? Diabolical. And Samantha's team says Meghan knew exactly what she was doing. Tickton painted Meghan as a master manipulator, someone who weaponized the media, who knew the language to use, who knew how to frame Samantha as a racist troll, how to spark mob hatred online, all while hiding behind victimhood. A manual for destruction, he called it. And the judges listened. They didn't look away for even a second. And then came the bomb that blew the courtroom wide open. Samantha being hated in her own community. Not disliked, not criticized, hated. All because of Meghan's strategic words. According to Samantha's case, the hate campaigns and death threats weren't accidental. They were the predictable, intentional result of Meghan's smear. Now let's rewind to the moment that set this avalanche in motion. Meghan's blockbuster Oprah interview, the one seen by millions worldwide. The one where she claimed, wide-eyed, teary, that she grew up essentially alone, an only child with just her mother by her side. Sounds heartbreaking, right? Except Samantha Markle exists. She's real. She has decades of family history with Meghan. And according to the lawsuit, Meghan didn't just gloss over her, she deliberately erased her to make herself look more sympathetic. Because here's the cruel brilliance. If the world believes you never had siblings, then any sibling trying to speak up becomes a nobody, a fraud, a jealous stranger, and boy did that work. Meghan's only child framing became the backbone of her victim narrative. Every interview after that, every tear about isolation, every story of abandonment rested on that foundation. And if Samantha proves that foundation was fake, the whole structure crumbles. Samantha's team claims they've got the proof. Family photos, communication records, evidence showing Meghan knew her sister, spent time with her, had a relationship with her. And if that evidence is real, Meghan's narrative wasn't just a little embellished. It was a full-on calculated fiction. The ripple effect of this one lie, catastrophic. It means every sympathetic moment Meghan milked in front of Oprah, every tear on Netflix, every implication that she was the lonely underdog, suddenly questionable. If she lied about having a sister, what else did she twist for sympathy? And it didn't stop there. Enter Christopher Bouzy, the so-called social media analyst who popped up in Meghan and Harry's Netflix series. According to Samantha's lawsuit, Bouzy wasn't just some expert giving his opinion. He was the amplifier of Meghan's smear campaign. With charts, graphs, and numbers, Bouzy painted Samantha as part of a coordinated hate network, a racist troll spreading disinformation, and millions of viewers around the world took that analysis as fact. Think about that. Overnight, Samantha wasn't just Meghan's estranged sister. She was transformed into a global villain, a documented troll thanks to Bouzy's graphs. And the internet went wild. The hate messages multiplied, death threats spiked, Samantha's reputation torn apart on an international stage, and the cruelest part? Meghan could sit back, hands clean because Bouzy said it, not her. Plausible deniability. Samantha had no chance to respond, no chance to defend herself. She was tried and convicted in the Netflix court of public opinion while Meghan played innocent. And that's just the first half of this nuclear saga, but here's where the courtroom drama took a shocking twist. For all the firepower Samantha's legal team brought, the three judges on that appellate bench weren't entirely buying it. Their expressions turned sharp, skeptical, and soon their questions cut like knives. They wanted to know, had Samantha's team actually addressed the reason her lawsuit got tossed out in the first place? Or were they dancing around it, drowning the court in emotional narratives and ignoring the hard legal core? And then came the brutal reality. The judges suggested Samantha's team might be missing the point altogether. All those dramatic claims of character assassination, all those timelines and manuals of destruction might mean nothing if they didn't meet the tough U.S. legal standard for defamation. See, opinions, no matter how harsh, are usually protected speech. That's the Everest Samantha has to climb. To win, she'd have to prove Meghan made specific, provably false statements of fact with actual malice. Not easy. And then there's the other problem. Bouzy's claims weren't Meghan's words. Netflix producers made choices. Random trolls sent the threats. Legally, Meghan can't be held responsible for what third parties say or do, even if she inspired it. It was a brutal blow to Samantha's narrative. The judges pulled her lawyer back to the legal technicalities again and again. Every time he thundered about Meghan's cruelty, they asked for exact falsehoods. Every time he raised harassment and threats, they reminded him about free speech protections. The gap between the fiery accusations and what the law allows was glaring, and you could feel Samantha's case slipping. Then Meghan's lawyer stepped up, and oh boy, did they deliver. They didn't just defend Meghan, they went on the attack. Calm, sharp, devastatingly precise, they dismantled Samantha's case point by point. Their message? Crystal clear. Samantha's lawsuit wasn't about defamation, it was about controlling Meghan's narrative. They argued Meghan has every right to tell her own story. Her childhood memories, her feelings of isolation, those are opinions, subjective truths. You cannot sue someone for saying how they felt about their own life. Only child. That's how Meghan experienced her world. Unsupportive family? That's her perspective. Opinions can't be defamatory, and U.S. courts have said this again and again. And the Netflix angle? Meghan's team drove a dagger right through it. They pointed out that Meghan and Harry weren't responsible for every editorial decision in the documentary. If Bouzy said something damning, that was his research, his conclusions. If producers framed Samantha as a villain, that was their choice. Trying to hold Meghan accountable for the entire Netflix series, they argued, was absurd. But then they flipped the script entirely. Suddenly, Meghan wasn't the villain, she was the victim. A famous woman being dragged through endless lawsuits by a bitter, vindictive family member who couldn't accept her success. It was Samantha, they argued, who was weaponizing the courts to harass Meghan, not the other way around. And legally, That might be the argument that saves Meghan's entire empire. Still, Samantha's side wasn't backing down. They teased what they claimed were the smoking gun receipts, photographs, messages, documentation that showed Meghan and Samantha weren't distant strangers, but sisters with a real bond. Birthday parties, family gatherings, casual hangouts, the kind of moments Meghan supposedly erased from her public story. If those receipts are real, they could be Meghan's undoing. Because claiming you barely knew someone when you were photographed together for years? That's not opinion, that's a factual misrepresentation, a lie. And if Samantha can prove Meghan knowingly lied to Oprah and Netflix, the opinion shield could crack. Think of the implications. Meghan's entire public image, built on the narrative of being a lonely outsider, could collapse. Every tear about abandonment, every story of being isolated, suddenly branded as fiction. It would look like a systematic pattern of deception, crafted to win sympathy while trashing her family. The timing couldn't be worse for Meghan. She's been scrambling to rebuild her brand after Spotify walked away, after her Netflix content fizzled, after Americans grew tired of the endless drama. She's been trying to pivot into being a relatable lifestyle figure, a polished businesswoman, but Samantha's nuclear lawsuit is pulling her right back into the mud. And the damage to Meghan's image? Brutal. Social media is buzzing with renewed doubt. People who once defended her are now asking tough questions. If she lied about having a sister, what else could she have lied about? The trust she built with the American public through Oprah is fracturing, and every new revelation in this case drives the wedge deeper. For Meghan's business ventures, authenticity is everything. Brands want partners, consumers trust. If the public sees her as manipulative, as someone who fabricated victimhood for profit, her value plummets overnight. And the press? Oh, the press is feasting. U.S. outlets are dissecting every courtroom moment. Entertainment shows are spinning theories. British tabloids are practically dancing on Meghan's grave, saying they've been vindicated all along. European outlets are framing it as a cautionary tale about celebrity victimhood. Even in Asia, the coverage is sharp. Japanese and Korean media analyzing the PR disaster. Chinese social platforms dissecting every twist. It's a global storm, and Meghan's brand is at its epicenter. Across continents, across cultures, the consensus is forming. Meghan's credibility is on life support. So where does this nuclear war go from here? The appellate court will decide if Samantha's case survives. If the judges rule in her favor, discovery begins, meaning Meghan could be forced to hand over documents, sit for depositions, expose every detail of her story. It would be a legal bloodbath, dragging on for years. But if Meghan wins, Samantha doesn't necessarily vanish. She could push for another appeal. She could file new lawsuits under different claims. Or she could just keep waging war in the court of public opinion, where the damage may already be irreversible. Because make no mistake, Meghan's reputation is already scorched. The American dream she's tried to build is burning, and Samantha is the one holding the match. And now the world waits, because in this sister versus sister showdown, there's no middle ground. Someone's reputation will be annihilated. If Samantha wins, Meghan may never recover. If Meghan wins, Samantha will look like a bitter sister who wasted years and millions on revenge. This isn't just a lawsuit anymore. This is a referendum on truth, on victimhood, on family loyalty, a global spectacle that could decide the legacies of both women. And the stakes? Higher than ever. So, what do you think? Is Samantha's nuclear attack a righteous crusade, or is it the desperate strike of a jealous sister? One thing's certain, the Markle family drama has just gone nuclear, and we're all watching the fallout in real time.